Before talking about the workflow, I'd like to talk about the reality that happens with every developer. Whenever a developer wants to work on any kind of project which is getting managed by Git, they would basically get that project from some kind of hosting services like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, etc. They'll get that project into their own local system, work on their own individual modules or the tasks, and once they're done with their task, they'll push it back to GitHub, GitLab, etc. So this is what actually happens if your company is managing the projects using Git. Now, once you get the project into your local system, what would you do before pushing it back to the same repository? You should basically work on your own individual module and your own individual task. I know that, but before pushing code into the repository, you would do few more steps. So I'm going to talk about those steps in this tutorial. But before talking about those steps, I'm going to talk about few basic terms that we come across often. So here are the few basic terms like commit, clone, tracking and untracking the files, and finally the branching. So here in this tutorial I would like to talk about the first three terms such as commit, clone, tracked and untracked files. But I'm not going to talk about branch in this concept because in our next tutorial we are going to look at a practical example using Git workflow. So talking about branch in that tutorial would make sense. So I'm going to leave branch concept in this tutorial. Let's look at branch concept in our next tutorial. But for now, let's get started with commit. First, suppose your friend has told you that he was committed. Then what would be your immediate reaction? Of course, we'll ask about the entire information such as when does that happen, how does that happen, where does that happen, and finally about that lucky girl or boy. So we are basically getting to know about all the information regarding your friend's commit. Similarly, there is a concept called commit in Git, and this commit will have the information about the author, about the committer, and the date when you have committed, and what kind of changes you have for that commit. So once we get project into our local system, we do lot of changes, right? So whenever we do some kind of changes, we will do some commits, and that commit will have the information with the changes you have done so far. For example, your task is to change a plus b to a minus b. Okay, and once you have done your task changing from a plus b to a minus b, and if you have done any kind of commit, that commit will have the information about the committer, the one who has done that change, and the date when you did that change, and finally the message which you will give for that commit. Basically we do some kind of messages to each commit, so I am going to talk about that, but for now just remember that there is a concept called commit in Git also, just like the commit which we often come across in our daily life. So there is a concept called commit in Git. Okay, and the next term that I would like to talk is clone. Clone is nothing but copy. Just remember that clone is nothing but copy. But what is copy here or what is clone here? Yes, as I said earlier, we get the project from GitHub or GitLab. So how do we get that project? We do some kind of mechanism called cloning. Cloning is nothing but copying. So for example, Deepak has code in some kind of repository. Now Ramu has to get this code into his local system. So what Ramu has to do for that? Ramu has to basically clone that project, which is nothing but copy the entire project into his own local system. That's called cloning. Cloning is nothing but copying. Okay. Now Ramu has the entire code which is available in some kind of repository. Now Ramu is going to work on his own individual task. For example, Ramu's task is to change where b is equal to 5 to where b is equal to 10. So he will do the modifications in his local system. It looks something like this. So he is going to change b is equal to 5 to b is equal to 10. Now he has the updated code. So clone is nothing but copying. Just remember that for now, that is enough. And the next one is tracking and untracking files. Here I would like to talk about small story. For example, there was a murder happened at your place. What would happen then? Of course, cops will rush into the incident, gather all the information. They'll basically investigate each and every minute information with everyone nearby. So they're basically tracking everything to get to know about the murderer, right? So who is going to do this task? The CID officers are going to track each and every information about that murder. Similarly, there is someone called .git in our local system who is going to track each and every information that you do. As we talked just now, Ramu has changed where b is equal to 5 to where b is equal to 10, right? So whenever this kind of changes happen in our local project, Git is going to track all this kind of information. So just think that there is a concept called tracking and untracking in our Git concept. So the files which are tracked by Git are called the tracking files, and the files which are not tracked by Git are called untracking files. Git workflow. This is the important concept in entire Git course. Remember friends, this image has to be fixed into your minds. There will be 4 stages entirely, and the 3 stages will be in your local system, and the final stage will be in your remote repository, which is basically the repository from where we cloned the project. Now once you get the project into your own local system, it is going to be placed in a directory called working directory, which is basically the directory where you are working on. Once you start making changes into the project which you have just cloned, it get placed into a place called staging area. Staging area is also known as index area. So I'm going to talk about the staging area and index area in much details in our further tutorials, but for now just think that once you do the changes, it gets placed into an area called staging area, and then it will be moved to a place called .git folder, which is nothing but local repository. As we talked earlier when we discussed about the repositories, a repository can either be placed under your local system, GitHub, or any other kind of hosting service, right? So similarly, this repository is part of your local system. Okay, and finally, it will move to a place called the remote repository, which is basically the place from where you have cloned the project. So remember, you will get the project into your working directory by cloning the project from some kind of hosting services like GitHub, GitLab, etc. So once you get the project into your local system, which is basically the working directory, you will start making changes. So once you start making changes, that would be placed into a place called the staging area. So we move to the staging area by doing an operation called add. Okay, I'm going to talk about the add, but for now just think that we does an operation called add, and then from staging area we move to the local repository, and moving to the local repository would be done by doing an operation called commit. So I'm going to talk about the commit again practically in my next tutorial, but for now just think that to move from staging area to the local repository we need to perform an operation called commit, and finally we will push our changes to the remote repository. That would be done by performing an operation called push. So for now I just talked about 3 different words called add, commit, and then the push. So I'm going to talk about all these practically in my next tutorial called Git workflow example. So Ramu has a task. If you don't know who Ramu is, I'm going to tell about him. Ramu has recently graduated and started working in a company, and his manager asked him to work on Git. So in this tutorial I am actually helping Ramu. So in our next tutorial let's help Ramu in getting his tasks done. So he got a task and he has to use the Git workflow to complete his task. So let's get started in our next tutorial by working on Git workflow example.